Hey guys, Fireblade here, and welcome to kind of a new segment. I say kind of because it's really just the same as a what if, but it's not really. I'm calling it a custom story because why not? It's not an original story, but it is custom. Basically, it's like me writing a fanfiction. For this custom story, we're going to be doing what if Team Lilac from Freedom Planet met Sonic.exe. This is basically going to be a rewriting of the Friday Night Funkin' mod versus Sonic.exe. I'm going to be rewriting that to not include singing, but to be an actual story and whatnot. That's how I'm rewriting this. We're going to be using Team Lilac because that's basically the best way to do this. Now, I'm not really going to give you a history on who Team Lilac is. If you want to know more about these characters, I really recommend just looking up either some Let's Plays or reviews about Freedom Planet 1 and 2. Spoiler warning for Freedom Planet and Freedom Planet 2. I've tried not to really include anything from there, but there definitely will be spoiler warnings, especially at the beginning. So yeah, spoiler warnings. Anyways, let's get started. Our story begins a little after Freedom Planet 2. Lilac has not gone off on her adventure to search for Murga. The monkey, or the technician, while working in the museum, picks up an energy signal from one of its devices that he would have. Excited about this, he calls over Mila, and he's excited about this energy because his device basically shows that it doesn't match the Kingdom Stone, nor does it matches the energy of Bakunawa. Mila takes him to Nira so he can tell her about this energy signal. Nira doesn't want to send a team to look at it yet, so she just waits and lets the technician gather more information about this. So she basically takes him off of his duty to restore the museum, so I can focus on this. About a month or two later, Ah tells Nira that he got all the information that he can. This energy signal isn't just a random spike of energy. He even picked up communications, with the communication being SOS. Ah has come to the conclusion that this is the stress signal and that this energy spike is literally like a portal or something to receive help. With how big of a situation this is, Nira asks Mila to find Carol and Lilac. And Lilac, who's only been gone for about a few weeks, was pretty easy to track. After finding her, Mila tells Lilac and Carol what is going on, and so all four of them go to the location and opens the portal. Nira tells the guards to keep watch and make sure Ah doesn't do anything besides making contact with them. Ah is annoyed that he can't go with them, that this is possibly a new dimension or whatnot, and that there's so much science that he can get from this. But again, Nira tells him that he is still under house arrest for the events of Freedom Planet 2. And with that, all four enter the portal. After emerging from the portal, they find themselves in a weird place where there seems to be like a bunch of loops and whatnot. Carol goes star-eyed, imagining ramping off all the terrain with her motorcycle. Nira gets them back on tracks and they try to follow the distress signal with a device made by Ah. After walking for a few hours, Mila tells them that she's been feeling something strange about this place for a few hours now. Carol asks her what could it possibly be, but Mila just doesn't know. Lilac chimes in saying that whatever it is, that they possibly can at least hold it off, at least until they get to where the distress signal comes from. Until they continue walking for a few hours. That is until they hear a laugh. When they turn around, they see a blue hedgehog with blackened eyes and red pupils, with blood dripping out from his eyes, chasing after them. Without thinking, they just run from it. They don't know what this is, but they're not going to try to fight it, especially with it just charging right at them. Seeing how this thing is keeping up with them pretty quickly, they decide to change some tactic. They're both going to run and fight, with Lilac and Carol being the ones to do the running. With Mila on Lilac's back, she fires off her projectiles against this creature, with Nira hopping on Carol's motorcycle and firing at this creature with her ice powers. While their attack does seem to be slowing down the creature, Nira can tell that it is not hurting them at all. If anything, it's just being an annoyance. With the creature having seemed to sped up, Lilac tells Carol to take Mila and drive off to another location. She's going to distract it. Carol calls her crazy for this idea, and Nira agrees that they don't know what this creature is and that they should stick together. Lilac says that she's the fastest out of all of them, and that she can distract it and possibly get away from it a lot easier than they can. With that, Mila hops off of Lilac's back and gets on the motorcycle, with barely enough room for all three of them on the motorcycle. Lilac stops, turns around, and kicks this creature in the head to basically get its attention. After kicking the creature, Lilac runs the opposite direction the other three have driven off to. With Lilac's plan seemingly work, this creature follows her instead. Carol, not abandoning her best friend, comes up with a plan that could help save Lilac from where this creature is. Lilac is pushing herself as fast as she can. When she turns around, she sees this creature just catching up to her. Lilac sees the smile on his face and can conclude that this creature is just toying with them. As this creature is seemingly getting closer, so is Carol getting closer as well. She has made modifications to her bike and has basically put it into overdrive to try to catch up to them. As they get closer, Mila charges up a cube energy like how she did in Freedom Planet 1. Nira summons ice in front of Carol's motorcycle, freezing the road in front of it, with Carol stopping her wheel so she doesn't really slip on the ice, is able to speed up some more, and it's seeming to work because they are now catching up to this creature as well, who is only like a few inches away from Lilac. Just as this creature is about to attack Lilac, Carol rushes right past this creature, with Mila firing the energy cube to blast this creature away. Nira stops freezing the road. Carol immediately starts her bike back up, and Mila grabs at Lilac as they drive off. A few minutes of driving, Carol stops her bike, and everyone gives us a chance to rest. Lilac thanks them all, with Carol kind of yelling at her, saying that was stupid, and that she could have gotten herself killed with doing that. Nira is surprised that this is Carol saying this, from how little she spent time with them, that this seems to be like an idea that Carol would have come up with. She agrees with Carol that that was dumb and suicidal, but Lilac admits that she underestimated this creature. Mila, who has been checking the device to see where the distress signal come from, doesn't see the distress signal anymore. She tells the group about this, and Nira is kind of guessing that they possibly have been led into a trap or something like that. Lilac thinking that maybe they were too late or whatnot. After all, they got distracted by this creature. Either way, they're interrupted by this lap again, the creature seemingly teleporting in and just beating on Carol. And after being sent to the ground, it looks like Carol is dead. She is not dead, but she looks like she's dead. With no choice but to fight, Nira, Mila, and Lilac fights this creature head on, with Nira doing the most damage to it because not only is she a soldier, but she is generally the strongest out of all four of them. Mila is mainly keeping her distance because she's more of a distance fighter, but she can hold herself in hand-to-hand combat when this creature tries to attack her. Lilac goes to Carol's body and sees that yes, Carol is alive, but she's bleeding out with how much cuts and whatnot that she has. Nira calls out to Lilac and tosses her one of Mila's healing potion. Lilac gives Carol this potion and it completely heals Carol. Carol explains that whatever this creature just did to her, it was attacking her soul. It felt like her soul was being targeted with these strikes. Granted, it still hurt like a bitch, but again, she felt the most damage on the soul, which was terrifying for her. Lilac asks if Carol can fight with them, and Carol is offended that Lilac doesn't think that she can fight. Glad that Carol's back up on her feet, she and Carol goes in to help Nira and Mila, who is kind of getting a little exhausted because this creature not only is strong but is fast as well. Now that Lilac and Carol have joined the fight, it's starting to become more in their favor. With the teamwork that Lilac and Carol has, they basically can work perfectly with each other when it comes to fighting. Getting frustrated, this creature splits all four of them up. Mila finds herself facing off against what she believes is to be a mangled body of a fox. This fox is seemingly using gadgets to fight against Mila. Mila, being able to keep her distance, is able to avoid any of this fox's attack. And whatever projectile this fox tries to fire at her, she can easily deflect it with her shield. Lilac is again fighting this creature, who seemingly transformed. Lilac, despite being by herself, will not back down. Carol is fighting a seemingly dismembered echidna. This echidna's attacks are powerful enough to break the ground whenever it misses, and it can even lift up huge rocks from pulling them straight out of the ground. Carol, thanks to having been training with Lilac before, is able to outspeed this echidna, but she knows that with one wrong move that this echidna could kill her with just a single punch. So Carol uses everything that she has to not only attack this echidna but make sure it can't attack her. Back with Lilac, this creature slowly walks up to Lilac as she's down on the ground, and her twin tails are seemingly ripped out from her head. This creature just laughs at Lilac. With a determined look, Lilac gets up. Even though she's been partially disarmed, it won't stop her from fighting back. Even if she dies here, something or someone will take this creature down, which this creature just laughs it off. Nira, she is fighting endless hordes of mechanical creatures controlled by a dismembered human in a floating pod. this human is commanding these armies to attack Nira, thanks to being trained to fight an army, can easily dispatch each and every single one. It is the sheer numbers that is overwhelming her, but she won't let this stop her. After dismantling hordes upon hordes of robotic creatures, Nira sees an opportunity to charge after the main guy, and she takes it, killing this guy. After this guy is killed, she's seemingly transported to an area, and she sees Carol and Mila fighting off this creature that they were originally fighting, and Lilac just on the ground, bleeding out, in a worse state than Carol. And when they first fought this creature, Nira runs up to help them, tagging Mila out to go help out Lilac. With Carol and Nira working together, they're able to distract this creature long enough for Mila to give Lilac a health potion. This creature, seeing Lilac being given a potion, launches an attack at them. Mila tries to defend herself with the shield, but the attack was strong enough that it basically breaks through the shield and destroys all the potions that Mila had. Luckily, Mila has already given Lilac the health potion, so without any other healing items, they have to take this creature out now. After going back and forth with all four against this creature, it seems that they have defeated this creature. Whatever remaining power that it has, it transports it and Lilac away from them. With the other three not being able to save Lilac, they're just left standing there, afraid for Lilac. And that is the end of this story. At least for now, that is. I do have plans to include the other songs into this story. I know how to properly incorporate them into this story, so that is the end of part 1. If you like this, be sure to click that like and the subscribe button. And if you want to see other types of these other types of FNF mods rewrite, go ahead and put down in the comments what type of mod you want me to rewrite. And who knows, maybe I might stream me playing it to get an actual feel for the story or whatnot. And yeah. Fireblade here, and I will see you later, whatever I make. Bye!